Yay. All right. Hello, hello. Why doesn't tell me who's on the live? No, comments will appear. Okay. Well, welcome whoever's on the live. It doesn't have a name that pops up. Okay. We'll get started in a moment here. Give people a chance to get in here before we get into the good stuff. But for sure, if you are doing this release and this cleanse today, you're going to need a paper and a pencil. Paper and a pencil, for sure. And then you're probably going to want something to cleanse with. So if you have a smudge that you want to use, or if you have candle, water, always good things to have for the cleanse. So yes, Stacy, welcome. Jessie Annie, welcome. Okay, it's gonna be that thing. I'm so excited. Okay, so what we're working on today, hope you guys can hear this too, is we're working on releasing what no longer serves you. Make sure you guys can hear the music, okay? Okay. Cool. So excited. Okay, so this class is to help you release what's in the way, and also to be aware of what you have attached to you, cords you have attached to you, energy blocks that you have attached to you, right? We want to be able to start cutting these cords and moving things forward because it doesn't serve us. And it's interesting because the first thing that Spirit told me with this class, when I said I was going to do this class, it's two different things. Because I need to do a class for people that's going to be, Latoya, a class for people that are going to be learning the basics. So like spirituality 101 type of stuff. And then a class start helping people move forward. So this is the class to help people move forward, okay? If you've been feeling stuck for a period of time, if you have felt like, you know, you're tired, drained, just going through it. That's all I can describe it as, going through it. This is going to be the class that's going to help clear the rope and cut the cords. And then we'll leave some time at the end of class to do some questions and some readings and stuff too. But for right now, we're going to start with the work, okay? Yay. She said I just got off the phone and said I got to call KJ. Let me know. I mean, you're here on the live, so hopefully we can answer whatever you got going on in the live too. But if not, you let me know. Music's nice and light in the background. I love it. Okay, cool. let's get started. And people come in as they come in and jump in as they come, jump in. They can watch the live back also. And then I'll have the live put up on YouTube, I think, so that people can go through and do the work that they need to do. Okay, so it's going to get really deep and really intense. If you guys know anything about me, it's going to get real intense. She said, I'm not even my whole reading. Okay, I feel you. Let me know. I got time tomorrow, actually. I have time tomorrow. So just text me. But it's going to get really intense. So Spirit, the first thing Spirit wanted me to do for this class, well, let me open up sacred space. Let me do that first for anything else, because we want to make sure that the space is clear, that the right people that are in alignment with the work that we're doing are in here, that this space is protected, that it is shielded, that we are reminded of our divinity, of our light, of our love, that we are ready to move our energy forward, that only divine presence and light exists within this space and this opening this beautiful sacred space. We call to Creator, the one of my many names, God, Allah, Yahweh, Dios, Swanka Tonka, Mother, Father, God. We ask for your light, your love, your presence. We ask that you engulf this space, this circle, this class with divine energy and light, that nothing like the energy of you can be present in this space, in the circle. We ask that you guide every single one of us through today, this energy of release, to let go of what needs to be let go of, to help cut cords and attachments, to clear the way forward, to find anything that's in our path that's blocking us, diminishing us, taking from us, draining from us, for it to be cleared and dissolved. We call upon the angels, the archangels, the warrior angels, Michael the archangel. We call upon our spirit team, our spirit guides, and our protectors. We call upon our ascended ancestors. We call upon our highest light beings and ascended masters, Jesus, Kuan Yin, Baba Ji, Mother Mary. Let these beautiful energies protect us in this day, move us forward in all things that we need to, and help us find and see what cords we have attached to us that need to go and be dissolved. Jen, hello. Okay, so we're getting into the work today. Okay, guys? Let's move it forward. So the very first thing that I want you to do is get a paper and a pen. Paper and a pen. If you have items to cleanse with, I want you to cleanse. If you don't have items to cleanse with, that's okay. You can just release, breathe, get some water. If you have some water, water is a cleanse. Light a candle. If you have a candle, candle is a cleanse. Start using your tools that you have. Light our candle. And I want to smudge us, the space, the energies. Whatever doesn't serve us, let it be done, let it go. You see the lights flicker? That was crazy. That's how you know the energy's intense. That means a level up is happening. An activation is happening. So cleanse what doesn't serve us. The old energies from the things from previous, from before. Hello. Okay, so let's get into the work. Like I said, you guys need a paper and a pen. Hey, Saf. Paper and a pen. Give you a second to grab that. We're working today. We'll do questions at the end too, but we're working right now. So y'all better come in and get this work while I'm giving to you for free or for donation. Let me not say free, because that sounds like I'm just giving things to the world. Everything I give comes back times 10. So even this is going to come back in tenfold. Perfection. So paper and pen. So Spirit wanted me to ask you to write two things. Okay. So I want you to sit with yourself for a moment and answer these two questions. Who am I? So I want you to write down who you are. That's your first question. Who am I? Okay, first question. And the second question is, what has been the theme of my life? What has been the theme? What has been the constant? The thing that's seems that it keeps happening, or could even be labeled as a cycle, right? What has been the theme of my life? I want you to answer that question. This is important because these two questions that I just asked you to think about, okay? Take your time, really think about it, are indicators of where you are at. They're indicators of where you may be stuck. Because Even when I ask you who you are, if your first instinct or first thing that comes to your mind is I don't know, that's okay. You not knowing who you are means that everything that you've been through, all of the different trials and tribulations, all of the ups and downs, were you going into the world and the universe trying to figure out who you are. When you think about it from that perspective, I don't really know who I am and everything that I've done was me trying to find myself, then there's not as much room for you to hold on to shame and guilt and feeling like you're wrong. How are you wrong for finding yourself? How are you wrong for going and taking chances to find out who you are? That's what we're here to do. We're here to go and discover. We're here to undo. We're here to clear up karma. We're here to dissolve. Right? Grow. If you're not going and learning and going to places that are uncomfortable and going through hardships, then are you learning? Are you clearing? Are you breaking? Are you finding out who you are? This is why this is important. So if your answer to the first question is, who am I? And you don't know, that's a good place. It's not a bad place to think, I don't know who I am. Oh my God, the world. It's you realizing that you not knowing who you are means that all the things that I've been through was for a purpose and a reason. And I can let go of the guilt and the shame and feeling stuck or feeling lost or feeling I did the wrong thing, because how can it be wrong when you don't fully know? So there's that. To the question, who I am, if you have a full description of who you are, I am this. I am this divine goddess and I came here to do this and whatever the description is, okay? That gives you your anchor, your bottom line. That means that you do have an understanding of where you are. You found that during this journey here. You've uncovered yourself. So if you've uncovered yourself and you know who you are, you can answer that question with gusto, and I mean with confidence. If it's not confident, that means that there's some confidence that we have to work towards, and that's okay. But if you can answer that question with confidence, this is who I am, this is what I know, blah, 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 cool. That means that the things that are working against you have to do with the fact that people don't know who you are. So therefore, the things that they've done to you or put onto you has been trying to put a hindrance on your growth, because you already know who you are. You just wrote it. You wrote it very quite easily at that. This is who I am. Boop, 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 boop. You know yourself. So if you know yourself, then there shouldn't be anything that you're questioning about, where you stand in the world and what people think is right or not. Like, I know me. You don't know you. So you're trying to put your stuff onto me or project your stuff onto me to make me think that I'm not who I am. You see what I'm saying? It changes the perception in your mind of being like, oh, I thought these are my problems and I was doing this and I was causing the pain. But no, I was letting somebody else determine who I am. And we're not doing that anymore. That's already a cut right there. When I talk about overcoming challenges and releasing what's in your way, that realization breaks that door open of like, damn, I really had these people out here thinking that they had the right to define who I am and to keep me stuck in a cycle and make me feel like I was wrong when I know what I'm here for, when I know who I am, right? If your answer to who am I is confusing, right? When you're kind of like, well, I mean, I guess I'm this, I know that I'm here to help people, right? A little bit of confusion behind it. Okay, that's okay. The confusion of being like, I don't know exactly what it is because you haven't really sat down with yourself and told yourself, this is me. And understand we're always constantly growing and evolving and changing. So it doesn't have to be a set in stone thing, but it's a bottom line for who I am, okay? And if you were confused by that, if it wasn't a strong, this is who the fuck I am, then I want you at this moment to sit there and start to list the things that you are. What feels like a defining moment of who you are. I want you to start putting a list together. And then from that list, I want you to pick three things that really stick out to you. When you go back and reread that list, 3 things that really just like, yeah, that's it. That's you. You just never had the opportunity or chance or time to sit down and really pinpoint yourself because the world's been fucking eating you up and spitting you out. so eloquently saying. It's not always the case that they're just eating you up, but people are out here doing what they're doing, right? So I need you to do that. So when I ask you, who am I, and you can't find a full answer of, okay, this is who I am, this is a defining moment for you, right? To remember who you are, to remember what you bring to the table. Remember that you know exactly who you are, that you don't have to take anything in that you don't want to take in, that you already know who you are, right? This is the moment to help you realize that piece of it. So that's one thing. She said a list of traits or a statement. It's up to you. When I ask you who you are, what comes to mind? It may be traits. It may be a statement. And then when you go back through and your eyes are going through and reading everything, there's going to be ones that just stick with you. 3 ones that really stick out and stand out. And that's the definition. Boom, boom, boom. That's simple. Because you actually took the time to sit down with yourself and talk to yourself. Acknowledge yourself. Give yourself a moment to really say, no, this is me. And it's important for us to know who we are, because if we don't know who we are, then that means we're letting the world define us for us. Every interaction we go through, every time somebody comes at us a weird way, we're constantly grasping and moving around and trying to figure out how to get back to being okay. That means we're giving so much energy and so much, space for everybody else and not enough energy for ourselves, right? We're giving people too much. That's what I want to use. I wanted to use accountability, but that's not it. We're giving them too much grace to have power and dominion over our world and our life. We want to be very for real with ourselves. So I want you to really write your statement down. And I want you to read it and make sure that it feels good and it makes sense to you, so you know. That way, when people come at you in a weird way, or when people have something to say, or when someone, comes at you like you're selfish and you don't care about anybody else, and, you're this and you're that, you can stop yourself and go back to your statement and say, when I read my statement of who I am, I didn't write nothing in there about being selfish, being a user, being a bad person. So who are you to tell me that I'm those things? And if I choose to believe in it and say, well, okay, yeah, maybe there's something I did that was kind of selfish, then you're putting yourself in that space. And it's your accountability. You have to decide for yourself if that makes sense for you or does it not make sense for you to give that much access to yourself. Or was it a moment that you needed to humble yourself because maybe you were in your ego? Because that's always a thing that could be possible as well. But I need you to have that statement to be that level of anchor to be like, no, this is who I am. So that's the first part. Let me write mine down. Hold on one second. And it could be statements, because I even wrote in mine, I love me. At the end, I was like, and I love me. I am da-da-da-da-da, and I love me. I am Lemtutu, sun goddess, light worker, witch, curandera, a healer of the heart. This is what I'm here to do. And I love me. I love me. I love who I am. I love the work that I do. Yeah. That's pretty key. If I love me as part of my statement of who I am, that means that if there's things being done to me or things that are coming at me that don't feel like love, my definition of love, then it's a no. And that's actually really important, that statement of being like, I love me. Because a lot of times when we go through things and we let these people have attachments to us and we go and we have to clear all this stuff out, it's because we forget that we're the most important piece, that we forget that we love who we are, that we forget that we deserve love, that we maybe love, but our definition of love is askew. And I can tell you this because even yesterday, when we did meditation yesterday, the release that came up for me was around the things that I take on for people, which is funny because I wrote this class. I wrote this class before I knew that meditation was going to be what meditation was yesterday. That's how you know that when divine really is leading you and you're in divine alignment, because all the things make sense. Like yesterday, this came up for you, and now today you're teaching a class about this. But in meditation yesterday, what came up for me was the realization that I take a lot of things on for a lot of people because my definition of love was askew, right? My definition of what I thought I was here to do for people, which kind of goes along with what we're talking about. What I thought I was here to do for people was based off of trauma. And I'm going to tell you guys this because, yeah, I'm going to tell you guys this. I'm going to tell you guys this because I'm going to tell you guys this. It is what it is. Okay, so my mother did a spell to get my dad, okay? I come from witches for real, okay? Because my aunt gave her the spell, okay? Did the spell to get my dad. Now, listen, realistically, you can't just do a spell to pull someone in. Love spells have power because, yes, like you're wanting something from somebody and you're wanting to have someone love you and whatever the case is, but the person has to also have some opening or an agreement, right? Or they're I don't want to say weak-willed. That sounds bad, but it could be weak-willed, or there's something that they want out of it. There's something that's destined in there, so they go along with it, right? I'm not saying it's good, because there's always a karmic retribution from things like that. But my point of saying this to you is that I am the result of the spell, okay? And so how Spirit showed it to me is that because I'm the result of the spell, then I was born through that trauma bond. Okay, that bond of bringing two people together from magic, which means I'm also magical as fuck, which I am. but there's a part about some of that point of coming in here and carrying the weight of my parents' stuff and carrying the weight of my family stuff and having the idea that trauma is love. When people want you to do certain things, and when people expect certain things of you, and because you can do it for them, or you have the or you think you have the capacity to do that for them, that's just love. That's what love is. You sacrifice and you give and you help and you step in where you can and you just continue doing that. That's love. But never a sense of self-love, self-worth, right? Never a sense of knowing that you're the important piece and that you have to have a balance. You can, yes, love someone and be there and help and support, but you also have to love and support you, right? And so this is what we know. This is what I know. But to go through the meditation yesterday and for that to come back up and for it to be realized, like, no, you feel so hurt by so many people and you're carrying so much, trauma because your idea of love was tied to the energy of trauma. That if you keep doing things for people and traumatizing yourself, that's still an element of love. Right? So redefine your definition of what love is for you so that you can step into a different love cycle. Love for me now is balance. Love for me now is things that bring me peace, that it feels good to my soul. Love for me now is having reciprocal relationships that are not requiring of anything. That my act of giving love is very easy, right? Easy. Love is meant to be easy. So redefine it. It's just a side note to add into what we're doing for our class. Okay. Just so you understand. Now, go to the next question. Is everybody good on that first question? Who am I? Any questions about that part? I'll make sure I'm not moving too quick. Thank you guys for the likes. Awesome. No? We're all good on the who am I? Okay. She's like, I got it. Good. I just want to make sure. Okay, now, next question. What is the theme of my life? I was going to say something else. What is the theme of my life? What did you put for that? The theme. What has been the theme of my life? It's funny because I wrote this down, but I didn't actually go through and ask these questions yet. I was like, yeah, what is the theme of my life, Keitra? The theme of my life has been Overdoing. Ooh, that's a word. Overdoing. I overdo a lot of shit. Overdoing. Overdoing. Overgiving. Overextending. Over. Overextending. Overgiving. Doing too much, basically. That's been the theme. Accommodating others. Facts. What else? Feel free to share. Current theme to date, or what is going through now, or what is working towards. I would say your current, I don't want to say current, because current could be something that you're starting to focus on. I want to know what your theme is, what seems to keep coming up even to this day. If it's a theme that was from the past, then it wouldn't even pop up for you. What is your theme right now? I like healing. The theme of life is healing. And that is a good word. What is healing for you? Because if you say your theme of life is healing, that's what you've been doing the whole time you got here. First of all, that means you got real awareness that your theme has been healing. I've just been healing. I've been healing on healing. Now let's define and break down what healing is. Because if it's something that you've constantly been doing since you got here and that's your theme, that means that a part of your soul believes that you're not healed. That you're not fully healed. I know that people say like healing is a lifetime process. But realistically, that means that you're saying to yourself that some part of you is always broken or hurt. So I want you to think about even that word healing. Let's redefine it. We're constantly growing and learning things and healing aspects, but we should already ourselves feel like we are healed beings, right? We came here just as who we are. We're not broken. So let's think about that, because that's even another piece to throw out there. You said solitude. We got giving away my light and my energy to people that don't have the capacity to hold it. First of all, a whole word. Giving away my light and my energy to people that don't have the capacity to hold it. First of all, it was formulated very beautifully. That was a good one. That actually kind of hit me like, you're right. Giving away my light. Ugh, that's a word. Sacrifice, pain, giving away my abundance. Giving away my abundance. A word. Solid commitments. Comes up as a theme. Solid commitments. A theme of your life is solid commitments. And that feels like work to me. When you say solid commitments, break that down for me. What does solid commitments mean? What does that mean for you? To say solid commitments. Because if that's been a theme that you've been living in since you've got here, it feels like everything is it's got to be this commitment, this set in stone thing. So what if that set in stone thing doesn't go the right way? What if you had a solid commitment and it goes awry? What does that leave left over for you as far as things being broken? I want to really start breaking these down. Taking care of others before myself. Words. Theme of my existence. It's important when you write these themes out to understand that means that when I ask you what the theme of your life has been, that's still something that's sitting, that's unresolved, that you haven't figured out or worked through, because it's still an echo, right? It's still a big thing in your life, which means you haven't found ways to start taking care of you before everybody else, right? It's still something you're working towards. And what does that look like? How do we do it? How do we start taking care of ourselves first? How do we start to make sure that we are having the right people come in that can hold space for us and hold our light? That we don't have to give our light away, that we get to just exist in our light, that we don't have to give our abundance away. Why? Right? When I'm in, I'm all the way in. I don't have a median. That's your definition of solid commitments. When I'm in, I'm all the way in, and I don't have a median. But being all the way in, is there parameters? Is there boundaries on what your ideas of all the way in is? Because if you're saying all the way in, that means there's no room for you to back out. That I'm locked in. That means I can't back out of it. I can't undo. Reject. Go back. which means it leaves you constantly being the one holding the bag for other people's mistakes. Is that what you want your theme to be? For what your life has been? Right? Spirit, so this is important for us to understand because our theme tells us what we've been stuck on, what we've been challenged by, what has been our hardships. And so if we can define the theme and understand what the main cause is or what the main piece is, then we can really break it down and shine light on it. So let's break these down. Just like I just told Latoya to break hers down, right? When I'm all in, I'm all in. That was her breaking down the solid commitment theme. So let's break that down, right? Now we know when I'm in, I'm all in, which means that every single time that I make some kind of connection with someone or some kind of commitment, and I feel like I want to be down for this person, I throw my full self in without any regard for me. So when we break that down, what does that mean? That I'm not worried if I lose something or if I get hurt or if someone changes up their commitment, I'm still just going to hold this space. What does that leave you with? What does that make you feel like to know that no matter what, I just get left with the bag. I get left with whatever is thrown at me or whatever someone's willing to give me. How does that make you feel? We want to go deeper into that because we want to get to that root point of why. Why is that your theme? Where did that come from? Did that happen to you from your parents? Was that something that you were taught in your foundation? Was that something that just keeps reoccurring? Because if it keeps reoccurring, it means it's a cycle. A cycle means that it's something that can be broken. We want to transform these themes so that our theme of life is not these things. We want our themes of life to be things that are joyous and beautiful and feel good. So we have that boundary. So it matches up with who am I and what is my theme in life, right? So I want you to take this moment to start breaking your thing down. If you need help on how to break it down or what that means for you, let me know. Because then I can go in and start helping you understand, like, let's break this down and figure out what that root is. Because if you can't find the root of what it is, that means you can't shine light on it, which means you can't let it go. You just get stuck in it. Okay? Committing to people that don't fully commit to me. Listen. Committing to people that don't fully commit to me. And I even want to challenge you with that saying is that, are we required to commit to each other? What does commitment mean for you? Does commitment mean that we respect each other and love each other? And there's a sense of loyalty or a sense of what? Right? Let's break that down some more too, right? To figure out what that means for you. What's the definition of commitment? It's important to know because then it's going to help you understand, like, okay, maybe my idea of commitment is not the same as what it is or what I'm asking for. So then when I'm asking people to commit to me and I'm committing to them, well, those people even have those attributes. If I say commitment to me means this person shows this kind of love, or this person, has this level of loyalty, or whatever it is that I break those things down. If I say those are the things that I use as the word of commitment, then when I go into making connections with people and I go into letting people into my life, I'm going to use that as a backboard, right? I'm going to use that as my boundary of being like, well, this is what commitment means to me. So do I want to commit to this person knowing that my commitment are these main things, right? Do they meet what my ideas of commitment is? Okay, well, yep, it matches up. So then I'm willing to be that same thing for them that they are for me, right? And it also means when you say commitment, are you being committed to yourself in the same capacity? How can you ask somebody for commitment based on your definition of commitment and you're not doing those things for yourself, which comes back to self-love, right? So if I'm saying commitment to me is loyalty and acts of love and whatever, are you loyal to yourself? When you know something is right in your spirit, are you standing on business for you? Are you loyal to you? Or do you constantly, put you to the back burner, right? And pick other people over yourself? If you're saying my idea of commitment from my partner is this acts of love, but you don't show yourself love, we want to break this down, okay? and that's even taking a step further, because really the breaking it down is just to understand where it comes from. Where does the idea come from of committing to people that don't fully commit to me? Where does that stem from? What does that mean for you? That I always commit to people, I always show up for them, they don't show up for me. So where did that come from? Who didn't show up for you when you were a child? Who has constantly let you down? Start writing that down so you can see where those ties are. Because even when you start writing down where it came from, you might get names. Names mean that there's attachment still there. Attachments mean there's still things for us to cut. There's still things that need to be released. There's still forgiveness that needs to be done. There's still something that needs to be healed. Otherwise, it wouldn't come up, right? Think about it. I put, be bold and be free. Love yourself, who you are, and be that weird. First of all, I love that. Is that you saying your theme or who you are? Because the way you wrote that feels like it's part of you. Like, I'm bold. I'm free to love myself and be who I am and be weird. That's me. It feels more like a definition of who I am than just the idea of what is the theme of my life. Right? Okay. So, does anybody need help with what they said? With their themes, what it's been the theme of their life? And even like for this one, sacrifice, pain, giving away my abundance. Where does that stem from? Where did you see that modeled in your life? Who did you see go through that level of sacrificing that made you adopt that theme in your own world? Or think that that's the only way? You didn't do it wrong. Because when you put it, you said, I put be bold and be free. If that's your theme, if your theme is being bold and being free, and who you are, and be that weird, and be weird, if that's your theme of life, that's a good theme. That means you're not held up on what people are doing to you, right? Because your theme was really about what you're doing, right? My theme is my theme is to be bold and be free and love yourself. It's not a bad theme. My theme of life has been being bold, being free, and loving myself. Okay. So that means you don't have nothing holding you back. Is that what you're saying? Like, that's the theme of your life. When you think about your whole life and all things you've been through, what has been the theme of my life? If it's something positive like that, then okay. That's what I'm talking about. But if your theme doesn't come up that way, like if your mind does not automatically go to this theme of like, the theme of life has been like magic and this and that, that means there's something that needs to be released. Oh, let me make sure I'm not missing nothing over here. How would solitude, How would solitude break down? I'm not lonely, but I am in my own company 90% of the time. That's a theme. Truth. And I think it depends on, does that solitude bother you? Because solitude can be a good thing. My theme of life has been solitude, to do things on my own, to find my own way. But that teaches you how to really discover you, to find out who you are, to learn about you, to do things that feel good. It doesn't mean that solitude means that you're never with anybody. It just means that you have solace. That means that you're okay with doing things on your own. So the question really is, are you okay with solitude? Are you okay with doing things on your own? If that feels like I have, obviously I've lived this far and done it, so it's okay, but I don't really want it. Okay. That means that there's something in that part of solace or solitude that doesn't sit well with you. So that means that you were forced to be in solitude. It's not a choice. You didn't choose to be in solitude and say, okay, yep, I want to do my own thing and I want to be my own. I love my own company completely and I don't want anybody around me like ill. If you're not saying that, then that means that there's a trauma in that solitude. So where did that come from? Where in your life when you were a kid were you left alone to fend for yourself and figure out your own shit? Because that's what that solitude would look like in a child trauma. Break it down. Bold and free equals independent. Facts. Bold and free means I'm free to move and do how I want to do. So Jesse Annie, there you go. Bold and free equals independence. I'm independent. My life is not defined by anybody else's, and I don't have anything attached to me to make or break where I'm going. That's actually a really good theme. If you're okay with it, doing your own thing. Doesn't mean you don't want people to come in. It just means that I'm okay with the independence. I really enjoy me. Let's see. So the theme of my life. Theme of my life defined love as trauma, and that love means not being a burden to others. Ooh, speak to my heart. And that love means self-sacrifice and comes with conditions. First of all, can you write that? Copy and paste that and put that out in the world? Because I'm pretty sure that's a theme for a lot of people. Because that's what we learned as children. Right? The love means not being a burden. Which tells you means not being a burden means that you witnessed your family going through hardships and your family being so traumatized and so heavy that you didn't want to add to that heaviness and that pain because you are a healer of the heart as well. And so you thought, well, if I could just sit back and sacrifice me a little bit more and just be there for them and hold space and not be a burden, then they'll be okay. And they'll also love me, right? But what has that gotten you in this point of state in your life that you've sacrificed a lot of you? And where are we, right? Where are we at in this moment in time? What is the theme, right, that we wrote for this part of the trauma? So it's changing that idea that we don't want to be sacrificing ourselves. We don't want to feel like we're a burden because we're not a burden. We're not a burden. People get to decide if they have the capacity or not. People get to decide if they want to fuck with us or not fuck with us, right? It's a decision. It's a choice. We're never a burden. So you have to redefine that energy of love, like you said. The theme of my life defined love as trauma. Same thing I said. So now how do we take that trauma out of it and be like, well, love is not trauma. Love is acts that we want to do because we want to do that. Not because we're worried about being a burden. Not because we're doing it because we want someone to love us. Not because we're sacrificing us to make somebody else feel better or for them to love on us. So redefine your understanding of what love is. And when you redefine what love is, taking away this, so taking out this trauma now that you've realized and the fact that you felt like a burden and that it required you to sacrifice yourself and there was always some kind of condition to being loved, right? That's trauma. That's all trauma. If we remove all those attributes out of your trauma, then what is your new definition of love? What does love look like for you? And then going back to what I said about love, now we have a new definition of love. Are you applying what love equals to you now to yourself? You can't ask of someone else what you're not giving to you. You attract what you are. If you don't truly love yourself and you don't show yourself acts of what your definition of love is, then what are we doing? And that's the reason why it's been hard to find love, because if your definition of love in this theme of your life has been, the not being a burden and sacrificing yourself and conditions, that means that you've been doing that to yourself for all these people. And a part of you was expecting those people to do the same thing back to you, right? To sacrifice themselves to love you, to not be a burden to you and treat you in the same capacity, right? But that's not the case, because you told people free for all. So as much as you say like attracts like, it's those people are also going through the same thing, right? They have probably another level of sacrifice and different things, but their definitions are different than yours. So you use it as an act of love, so you just keep doing it. They may be ones that are so traumatized that they don't do those things for themselves. They don't, love themselves, and they don't, have certain conditions. They also, don't want to deal with their burdens, but instead of them having the idea of like, I'm going to hold my burdens in and not put it on someone else. They're perfectly okay throwing their burdens out on other people. Just depends on what their foundation was, right? My dad didn't show up for me as a child, which is why I say I'm going to do what I say, all in. Look at that. My dad didn't show up for me as a child, which is why I say I'm going to do what I say, all in. Makes sense, right? I'm going to show up and go hard, and I'm going to do the things because my dad wasn't able to do that for me and my family, right? Or my mom or whatever. And so, I'm going to be that person. I'm not going to go back. I'm not going to renege on stuff. I'm not going to go against my word because I don't want to be looked at like him. And that has to do with fear. Fear of not wanting to be what you went through. Fear of not wanting to cause pain to someone else the way it was caused to you. Which comes back to this comment over here about not wanting to be a burden to people and willing to sacrifice yourself. When is it going to stop? And understanding that your dad not showing up for you as a kid may have been your biggest blessing. And I know it's hard to think about that because that's more from your child self of being like, why? Why not me? Why not love me? What did I do wrong, right? Like, our child self wants to go there and be like, it must be me, But looking at it and realizing that your dad might have had so much more trauma that him being in your life would have caused you a different type of trauma and pain. If the worst thing that came out of it is that now you go hard for the things that you like or the people that you love, we can easily redirect that and say, you know what? I do want to be all in on me. I do want to show up for me. I do want to say yes to me. And let's redefine that. That's not a bad thing. Where it could have been your dad in your life the whole entire time and he was constantly, causing you more trauma or abusive or whatever the case may have been, right? So I love that you broke that down. So now you know where you need to release. You said my dad. So when we go to this next part where we're going to write down who we need to let go of, your dad is going to be one of those people that you need to release. Because what he did or didn't do is still affecting you to this day. Because that's how your theme is. Right? Big stuff. Taking care of others before myself. So let's break that down. Taking care of others before myself. Where does that stem from? Where does that come from? That I got to take care of everybody else and then I'll take care of me last. Where did you see that modeled in your life? Right? Where did you see that level of sacrifice? That probably as yourself as a child didn't seem like it was that big. But it was big enough that you just started doing it and compensating that. So let's break that down and figure out where that came from so you know what you got to release. Ooh, when you said magic, I was reminded. Luck has most definitely been a theme. Luck has been a theme. And that's interesting when you say luck. Because even luck as a theme means that you're leaving things to chance. It means that things could happen or not happen, but I've just been lucky enough that it did happen for me. You might want to change that to a different definition, right? To understand that luck means that you win some, you lose some. Sometimes good things happen, as long as I'm lucky. It's not a bad word, but it may be something you might want to think about. Because I'd rather be blessed all the time. Receiving all the time. I don't want to just be lucky. I want to be definitely blessed. Divinely blessed. Thank you guys for the likes and the gift. Yes, she just said it. Blessings, not chance. Facts. Yes. I love this. You guys are killing it. Aha. Probably for my mom. And it doesn't mean it has to be bad. It doesn't have to be that it was a bad trauma, but you witnessed it and you modeled it. You looked up to your mom. You've seen how much your mom did and the beautiful things that she gave you guys. And you wanted to be like it. You wanted to be like her. You wanted to model it. But then I have to ask your question. Was your mom actually truly happy? Or was your mom just used to doing what she was doing and just put on a nice face? Is your mom living the life that she really truly wanted to live? Or was she just always busy and always sacrificing, and that's just kind of what she had? Let's take it a step further. Because if you ask yourself now, like, are you living the life that you truly want to live, right? I'm sure there's components of your life that you're like, yeah, this is exactly what I wanted to be doing. But there could be components in your life that aren't. So go further with it. Your mom did a lot of things to make sure you guys have what you needed. Maybe that was your mom's purpose. Maybe your mom's purpose was like, I just want to make sure they have everything they need, and that fulfills me. And if that felt good to her and that felt like happiness to her, okay. But the fact that you can label it and say, I'm going to put everybody else in front of me, and I witnessed that from my mom, shows you that it's a trauma in your family line, and it's a generational curse. Why is each person in your life, every woman in your life, okay sacrificing themselves for the greater good of the family? What if you were meant to lead the family? What if you're meant to do other things, but now you're too exhausted to do it? Think about it. Andra, welcome. Think about it. It wouldn't come up as a theme for you that's causing you pain if it was a good thing. You'd be like, yeah, my theme of life is, what would I even redefine it as a theme? My theme of life is loving on people. Maybe you look at it a different perspective than it is of saying, because your comment was definitely that putting others before me, right? Taking care of other people before I take care of myself, which means it bothers you. It's a theme that you're wanting to shift. Doesn't mean that you're not okay loving on your family and doing for them, but there's got to be a balance. So how do we give you balance when that's what you see modeled? That means you don't know what that looks like. How to put you first. So then let's go ahead and work on some release around it. It's not necessarily releasing your mom, because even when you guys are releasing people, you're not releasing the person. Some of you are releasing the person. If it's someone you need to cut cords with, then by all means cut cords with them. But if it's not someone you need to cut cords with, it could be that you're releasing the theme. So I'm releasing the idea that I see my mom, doing so much and giving so much and putting her needs last. Because maybe it's not something that's sacrificed, that she feels like she sacrificed for. Maybe she's lived a full life that she wanted to live. But what toll has it taken on her? Are there health issues that could come up? Maybe not now, but in the future, because she did so much sacrificing, she doesn't know how to shut down and how to stop and take a step and focus on her. And you can see it in people that are like that, because usually what happens when they do get sick or something's going on with them is they don't sit down and heal and rest. They just keep going, which means that they don't fully value themselves the way they should. Otherwise, they would take the time to sit and say, nope, I'm sick, so my boundary is I'm going to take 2 days and I'm not going to do nothing for nobody. Right? You want to think about that. Any questions about this breaking it down part? Getting to the root of where it came from. Hey, Thomas. Hello. For those of you that just jumped in, Alejandra and Thomas, we are breaking and clearing out the stuff that's our challenges. So the first question you're supposed to answer for yourself is, who am I? So take the moment to write down who you are. And then write down what has been the theme of your life. Okay? If you want to join in. Those are the 2 things you want to define. You want to know who you are, because that gives you an understanding of where you stand. So whenever you go through the world, you can go back to your point. This is who I am. So whatever you're trying to say about me, if it don't match this, it's not true. Whatever the situation is that don't fit this, then I'm not in agreement with this. Okay? That's why we're doing the who am I. It's a nice blanket statement and a foundation of who you are, so you can use that as a way to navigate your journey. And then the question that we're on right now is, what is the theme of my life? What is the theme of my life has to do with understanding what you've been stuck in, or what has been this big thing that's expanded since you got here. And it's time to release it. That's why we're here. This is why you're in this group now, or why you feel drawn to come to this class, because you're like, I'm done. So what has been the theme? And then we're breaking that theme down. So my example for myself was overdoing, overextending, overgiving, doing too much. So I'm going to break that down because it's very much the same thing that I was seeing from Dana, right? The idea of like, sacrifice myself. I don't want to be too much of a burden. You know, I want to accommodate. I don't want to, I don't want to, whatever. It's a combination of those things, but also like that's where overdoing comes in. I'm overdoing, I'm overextending myself. I'm doing all these things because I don't want to ask for help. I don't want to ask for help. I don't want to put stuff on other people. I had to redefine my definition of love. That's pretty much what mine, when I get down to the root, it's redefine my definition of love. And how do I apply my new definition of love for me so that I'm not overdoing, overextending, and overgiving or doing too much at all. And that all comes from my trauma of coming into a family that had so much trauma already in it and so much generational stuff that I felt like I just needed to help them and make it easier for them. And I just became doing that until I became so used to doing for everybody else and make sure that they're okay that I forgot about how to do for me. And then wondering why I'm tired. And then wondering why I'm sick. And then wondering why, things aren't moving forward fully or why things are slow. Well, if I'm overdoing for everybody else and I'm overextending myself and I'm overgiving, that means I'm missing stuff. Because overgiving means I'm giving more than what I have. If I'm overextending, that means that my capacity is here and I'm going over here. So all this extra shit is energy, time, priority, abundance, joy that I've overextended to everybody else, and then I don't have it, right? Because now I'm overextended. Same thing with overdoing, where I could stop at a certain point where this feels like a good boundary, a good space to be, to hold that space. Now I'm going beyond that boundary, which gets me in trouble, right? Because now I'm going past what my boundaries are, and I'm overdoing something, and it's taking from me. Can't do that. So now I need to redefine my definition of love because this has all come from my lack of love. It comes from trauma that I've seen in my childhood. This is how I see my family operate. I witnessed it. I didn't know any other way. So I just keep doing what I did. I didn't know any other way, so I just keep doing it. But it doesn't go with my theme of who I am. If I say I am Lemtutu, sun goddess, light worker, witch, curandera, a healer of the heart space, and I love me, this does not equal I love me. Overdoing, overextending, overgiving. It's funny because even in my definition, when I think about it now, about the healer and all those parts, I need to redefine my idea of what a healer is. Because I look at these words and I'm like, well, yeah, but a healer what? A healer is here to heal by being the light, by holding space, not by overdoing and overextending and overgiving. We are channels of divine light. Light shines through us naturally by just existing. So I need to make sure that I'm really representing what a healer is. A true healer in my mind's eye. Not what I was shown or taught what a healer does. So now I can release the trauma. And so my release is going to be trauma. And anybody else that I have trauma bonds with. Because if I think about me overdoing, overextending, overgiving, is a trauma response. That means that I find people that have those type of traumas or that type of lacking of love or definition of love. And then I want to give to them and overextend to them because I don't want them to feel less than or to be missing something, right? I'm willing to sacrifice me to make sure that they're okay. So then I have to go through and release any trauma bonds that I've attached to or I've added in because of the situation, right? Does that make sense? Overdoing, my mom did a love spell to get my dad. I must have to earn it. I must have to earn it. That's an interesting way to think about it. I mean, that's the trauma, right? Like, Yeah, but I don't know. I don't look at it from that perspective of feeling that. I look at it more from the perspective of like, well, anything's possible in magic. Anything's possible in magic. But no, the trauma part, I get what you mean. So interesting. Saf, I have a question. Is it a question about the class or another question? Because we're doing the class stuff. So are you asking a question about the class, or is it a question, just a question? Because then you're going to have to wait to the end, which probably be more closer to like 7:38 for us to do questions. Because we want to get through all this first. No, you're good. We're working on the trauma release. So if your question is about this trauma release, like, yeah, I realize that I overdo or I do whatever, that's fine. But if it's something completely separate, then we'll wait and do that after, because we want to keep the flow of this going on. Yes. Okay, cool. Everybody's good, right? Anybody else have any questions about that part of it? About understanding your theme or breaking your theme down? Yeah. So if you just jumped in, we're basically helping define where we're stuck. So you're going to answer the question, who am I? And you're going to answer the question, what is the theme of my life? So we can break these things down and get to the root of why we are stuck, okay? Or why we have attachments, or what's attached to us, or where it's coming from, and where is it at in our body. That's what we're going to go through and do. So now we have our understanding of why, okay? We know who we are. Now we have the why. What has been the theme of our trauma. So now that you've broken that down and you have an understanding, what needs to be released, okay? So like I said, for myself, I'm releasing trauma and the idea that trauma and love go hand in hand. That sacrifice is necessary. That to be loved, I have to hurt myself, overburden myself, overdo. Oops. There we go. Hold on, y'all. I don't know why it's acting weird. There we go. So write down your release. Trauma bonding is interesting. I often wonder, can that not just show up in love, but also with other relationships? Yeah, trauma bonding can be with anybody. Yep. Yep. It's in relationships. And I can tell you that because I've had trauma bonds with my sisters. We all grew up in this, you know, in this family of, right? We have these parents. And so you become trauma bonded, which means that you can recognize in someone else that same trauma. And it's that idea of like misery loves company, right? Like, you went through this, I went through this. So we both understand each other from that space of trauma. And if in my mind trauma is also equals love, well then yeah, this is our love, this is our connection. It's based off of what we've been through, and this is our definition of what love is, because our family has only been this like area of trauma. Not that there was not love there, right? Your parents loved you. Everybody's parent has loved them to the best of their ability, to the most of their capacity. There's never been that. But it's realizing that those traumas keep you stuck in a certain way, and then you realize as you're starting to grow and heal and break things that, like, how much of this is really a deep connection and love, and how much of this is also because we didn't have anybody else, right? Where we've been through so much trauma that we just don't want to be in this by ourselves. Releasing stagnancy. How do I say the word? Stagnancy. Is that how you say it? Stagnancy. I don't like if a word threw me off. I'm like, I see the word stagnant, but that's not what it felt like. Too funny. I love this. Okay, so write down what you need to release. This is something that you're going to want to burn, okay? If you can burn it now. If you need to burn it later, burn it later. But you're going to want to release the words. And you can burn it, or you can You know what I'm saying? Or rip it up if you feel like ripping up is good for you, or you can put it into water. We want to dissolve what it is that we're releasing from that theme, right? We want to cut cords with the energy of the theme that's been going on in our world and our life for the longest time. So for me, I'm literally cutting the theme of trauma being the definition of love for me, and that my sacrifice in any capacity equals love. It doesn't. And I mean sacrifice in the sense of giving what I don't have, giving what I don't want to give, giving more. Yeah, you can flush it if you rip it up good enough. You know, you don't want to clog up your toilet. Depending on what you wrote on, like my paper is thick, I wouldn't flush this. But if your paper is small and you can get it in smaller pieces and you want to flush it, by all means. However you want to dissolve of it, you're going to want to release that trauma, okay? Cool. So that's the first part, is releasing that trauma. So we're just cutting the cords with what's been our theme. And then we can go ahead if you want and give yourself a new theme or an idea of where you want to go. And honestly, my theme is just going to be, creating a life of what my new definition of love is for myself, and peace. And peace for me means balance, which also ties into my definition of love. I'm okay giving if it feels balanced, if it feels like something that I want to do, if it's not hindrance or hurting me. Balance, that equals peace to me. So you can put a new definition of what you want for your theme. I wish I wrote this on a different piece of paper. Now I want to rip this paper out. I mean, I'll rewrite it and rip it on something else. Let's see what I got. So there's that. Okay, so next part we're going to do is we're going to release what is there and what is attached. Okay? So what I want you to sit there and think, okay, I want you to tune in. When I ask you, who's hurt you? Or what's in your way? I wouldn't say what's in your way, but no, because I said what's in your way. Who hurt you or what's in your way? What comes to mind? Who comes to mind? So who hurt you and what's in your way? I like this class. What's in your way? And then write it. Okay? She said, me, damn it. If that's your answer, like who hurt me and what's in my way is me, then you have to forgive you. You have to forgive you and release this shame or guilt that you put on yourself because of what you didn't know or what you did or didn't do or whatever. Right? So write it. Who hurt you and what is in your way? And it may be a list of people. It's a good question, Spirit. Okay. Who hurt me? And feel free to write as many names that comes to mind, because some of these people might be, I don't want to say irrelevant. Irrelevant in the sense that it's not a big thing that they've done to you or that how they hurt you, but it still registers in some capacity. If it still registers and you're kind of like, well, I don't know why they're on that list, write it down. Because what it could mean for you when we ask this question is it's not so much this person did something. It could be the fact that they were a part of something, or, you know, they weren't nice to you at some point. It's something that's still weighing on you. And it could also be someone that's still attached to you, meaning that it could be an old coworker and you're like, I don't even think about that person anymore, but they might be thinking about you. And so they came up in this moment because we're trying to figure out what's in the way, right? So we want to be able to pinpoint the people and then cut the cords and release what needs to be released. Hello. So yeah, me, the woman that brought me into this life, etc. Okay, create the list. You want to break it down and put each person that comes to mind when you think about who hurt you. It's funny because when I ask the question, what's in my way, I get the message, nothing. Nothing in your way. Literally nothing. There's nothing in my way. What does that mean? If I ask myself the question, what is in my way, and I get the word nothing, that means that I, just like Tracy said, me, right? That means that you too. Thank you. That means that I'm holding myself back. Why? If nothing's in my way, nothing comes to mind at all. Like literally nothing comes to mind when I think, what's in my way? It's so blank and clear. Literally nothing. So then what is that block? It's funny because I wrote down who hurt me, and I do have a list of people, but they don't even really register that big because I feel like I've released a lot of this already. I feel like it's just more of me being able to say this is done and I'm done with it, which is what we're doing today. This is why we had this class, to cut those attachments and clear the air, because we don't got time for it. Okay? And it's funny because when I say what is in your way and I hear the word nothing, the only thing I can understand is like, well, there's nothing in your way, so why are you not doing things or moving things forward? And I get the message of, because my theme of my life has been overdoing, overextending, and overgiving, doing too much. So it's not that there's anything in my way, it's the fact that I've been doing this as my theme, almost like on autopilot, right? To the point where I don't realize I'm doing it half the time, which is dead ass true. Sometimes I don't realize I'm doing it, so I'm like, damn, why did I do all that? It comes back to my theme, my trauma that I need to burn. I need to burn that probably. Of why, because there's nothing in my way. And I don't get the element that I'm scared. Scared of what at this point in life? Take the fucking leap. Yeah. It's literally that. It's the fact that I've lived so long in a certain way, and I'm like, now it's shifting gears. So as I start to pour into myself and love on myself and start to really walk in the real elements of what love is for me and become that energy of love, that's it. Which comes back to my theme of who am I? See how that was a full circle moment? Comes back to my theme of who I am. That means I'm walking as who I am. I'm living. Oh, I felt it in my whole body when I said that. I'm walking as who I am. And the definition of who I am. I'm being every essence of who I am. There's nothing in my way. That was big shit. I felt that on a soul level. Like, okay, here we are. Which is what meditation brought up for me yesterday. Right? The release that I had. What a beautiful release it was. So yeah. That's just the theme. Okay, so what I want you to do now with the list of the people who have hurt you is I want you to go through and I want you to number the people that have hurt you from 1 to 10. 10 being the way they hurt you the most, and 1 being that they really didn't do shit to you. Okay? So 1 to 10, label these people of where they fall in the areas of how they hurt you. Okay, so it's up to you if you want to burn everything else. I wouldn't say burn the part about who you are. Or if you wrote like a new theme for your life, or you broke that theme down, if there's like an idea of like, nope, this is what my new theme is. Now that I know this is what I'm releasing from it, I wouldn't necessarily burn that, but I would burn what you released from the theme, right? That if it was trauma, whatever it was, the theme. And then the part where you write down who hurt you, yeah, that one you're going to probably want to release and burn or rip up for sure. So we're moving and we're grooving, okay? So let's go through it. So put a number from 1 to 10 on the list of people who have hurt you. And what I want you to do is the people that have registered, I would say 4, even maybe 5 or lower. Those people are basically what we call more, I don't want to say irrelevant, but that means that their attachment to you is not, it's not registering as a big thing in your world or your life, which means it's either that they have some attachment with you, or maybe you just need to release them, or maybe there's some little bit of level of just like acknowledging what they did so you can let it go. So I want you to look at those people that are, like I said, 4 or lower, 5 or lower, and really write down what they did to you or why they even showed up in this space. Okay, so like this person here, I put them at 4, and 4, when I think about what they did, is I just feel like I'm disappointed. I'm like disappointed in them. And it's because I thought that we had a closer bond or closer love than what I thought. And look at that word, bond and love. And my definition of love previously was what? Trauma. But disappointment means that I put that person on a certain level or a pedestal that they really, really weren't supposed to be on. Okay? And that's me realizing that sometimes I put people in certain places because of what I was missing. I was missing love as a child, so then I take certain people and put them in certain places like, oh, this person's this because I didn't have that. Which is not fair to either one of us because that person didn't ask to be that. And that person's not what I put them at the pedestal to. Does that make sense? So now I can release that expectation, facts, disappointment, expectation. I can release that expectation because neither one of us agreed to that commitment. And now that I realize that, and I'm not looking at it from a place of like, you hurt me, oh, I can look at it as, no, I just was disappointed, but now I realize that that was not the space you're supposed to be for me. And so I appreciate you for the role that you did play for that period of time, wherever I put you, the expectation I put. But I no longer going to hold on to the energy of that because now I know the truth, right? Now I really know, how to operate that connection. So then once you have that realization of what it is, I want you to cross it off because it's done. And you can say something to it if you want to of like, I release this, or I release you, or I release this expectation, whatever you want to do, but you're going to release it. And then go through and do that for all the people that are under 5. 5 is pretty usually good. 5 is kind of like, because 5 is like, right? Like, you kind of irritated me or you did something to me, but it's not make or breaking my life. She put her ex-boyfriend at 7. And it's the deepest relationship heartbreak. So 7's not even the top, right? 10 would be like, you destroyed me. I felt that in my heart when I said that. You destroyed me. Now, how do you give someone that much control over how to say that word? They destroyed you. Crazy. So you put 7. And we'll get into what to do with the ones that are above 5. Well, that means 7 for you means that it is affecting you in a way. It's still controlling some aspect of you. Otherwise, you wouldn't have registered that high. So go through and release the people from 5 and lower. And then answer that question, what do they do, so you can understand why. Oh, you put it separate. Okay. Yep. So 1 is supposed to be the least severe and 10's the highest. So if it's backwards and you put your ex-boyfriend at 7, that means he's really a 3. Oh, yeah. So that means that heartache you went through may have been the deepest, but it wasn't it's not registering to you as the worst. So then go through and figure out what it is. When you put him down as 3, why? What did he do to you? And it's probably something like, yeah, it just wasn't what I thought it was going to be, right? Or, I thought, and it could be the love of the potential, right? I thought that we were going to be able to be something more, and he never measured up to my potential. And that means that you can go through and really cross it off and say, well, that's me putting an expectation on him that he didn't have the capacity to be that, right? He didn't have the capacity to be that. And then your ex-husband being higher makes sense because there's still some element of him having havoc over your life, right? And then you're going to write why on that one too. So go through and release them. Like this person I put irritating. They're irritating. Okay? Why are you letting them irritate you? That means that you're letting them have too much room, right? Or too much room to do things that you don't want, which means you don't have boundaries. So now I can go and say, this person's irritating me because I don't have boundaries with them. So now I need to establish boundaries. And what does that look like? So I cross them off. What does that boundaries look like? See? It's going, this is popping, isn't it? It's moving and grooving. She said exactly expectations, false interpretation of who and what he was. Facts. False interpretation, whether it's because he lied or it's because you wanted to see something different that was not really there. And we do that a lot in love, of looking at the potential of someone because we've seen glimpses of it. We've seen parts of their sweeter self or their soul, and we're like, oh, okay, yeah, they're like that. And then we're disappointed because we lied to ourselves. We thought it was something different than what it was. It's okay. Now you're going to start taking people at face value and really seeing what you see. And really using your discernment. Rather than trying to look past people's trauma as a way to, be loved. I love it. Okay. Anybody else? Any question on this part? Or need help with any of this part? Should have been. I did this a couple years ago, but I feel like I need to redo this every once in a while because I have different responses because my awareness is different doing it now. So this that we're doing today, do this again in a couple of months. Like I said, I'm gonna put this video on YouTube, but maybe do this again in a couple of months and see where you're at with it because my perception's different. It's so cool. Like this person, I said they hurt me and they took from me, and then I said I take my power back. I take my body back. Same thing, irritating. That means I lack boundaries, which is a big thing for me. But why do I lack boundaries? Goes back to my theme of life. Well, it's no longer my theme of life. My old theme of life. Of overdoing and overextending because of trauma. So I don't have a sense of boundary. I'm just like, yeah, free for all. Can't do that shit no more. Okay. She said, me, 9, 10, 6. Ooh, you got all these. She said, yes, help. What's next after I number them? What's next? Oh, okay, yeah. So after you number them, anything that's 5 or less, go through and write down. Well, you don't got no 5 or less. You got 1 5. So that 1 5, you're going to go through and write down what that person did to you. And then you're going to release it. So see what they did to you and see where you need to release or what's left in there. So like I said, for this person right here, I had a 4 for them, and it was because I was disappointed because I put them on a pedestal, right? I put them in a space of like, you're this to me, and no one agreed to that. So I had unfair expectations that end up hurting my own damn feelings, right? So now I can release them and say basically that I release the expectations I put on them and what I expected, and I also take them from that space of putting them on that pedestal. So now I don't have to have that tiff with them. It's not that serious. Same thing with the people I said that are irritating. They're irritating to me because they do shit that's irritating. But how can someone irritate you when you're allowing them to, right? And I go back to look at it and I'm like, oh, it's irritating because I don't have boundaries there. So I give them all this space and then they do stupid shit. So why are you doing that? When you don't want to talk to them, why are you answering the phone call? Make it make sense. So that's what you're going to do, 100, is do that. Now, going into the next level, so anybody that's above 5, right, 6 or higher, these people register bigger, which means they hurt you more, okay? Hurt you more, they hit you in a certain way. So now I want you to write down, for those people, what they did to you, and we're going to release it. So those people are going to have to be some people that you're really going to have to release. So do you want a relationship with them, yes or no? And even the people you put down here from 5 and lower, do you want a relationship with those people? Because if you don't, cross them the fuck out and put, I release you. Because if they're not someone who you want in your life, by all means, go ahead and release them. But your ones that are 6 and up, you're going to write down what those people did, and if you want them in your lives or not, and what needs to be cut, what cord needs to be cut. Because that means if they're registering that high, it means they have some hold on you. Because you can't forgive them, because you don't know what to do with the relationship, because you feel wronged by them, which means you can't find forgiveness. You've given your power away in some aspect. Like, you got to really break this one down. Okay, perfect. So if some of these things that you're doing is just things that are lingering, things from the past, so it's like not even nothing that's really happened. And when you ask the question, like, well, what did this person do? You're kind of like, yeah, I mean, but there should be something, even if it's something from the past they did that doesn't really hit as hard. But if you numbered it high, that means it is hitting you hard. So let's go deeper into that. Okay. So when you wrote down what they did, what is that supposed to teach you, right? So if I wrote down that this person, hurt me and they cheated on me and they did this, this, and this, why are they still registering in your mind? Why are they still up here causing some havoc? If you're free of it and it's not an issue, that means something in your soul is still holding it, or they're holding on to you. If you cannot think of any reason at all of like what they did, or nothing comes to mind when you think about what they did, then you know that they're attached to you. But if you can write something down of like, yeah, they did this to me, that means that you haven't forgiven that. Whatever they did, you have not forgiven. You haven't. Otherwise, you wouldn't even be able to write it down. So what have you not forgiven? And what do you want to do about it? Do you want to cut the cord with them? Do you need to recognize that what they did to you was to help you understand that, you didn't have any self-worth, right? Or you didn't have boundaries, or what is it? What's the theme of why? The why. We're doing pretty good. We have this, and then we have one more piece to release the physical. And then we can do questions. It's funny because Spirit's like, yeah, you know how you just realize that you overdo? Is this one of those moments? And I'm like, yeah, Spirit, you're right. Because I want to do this, though. It's not that I'm overdoing because I don't want to teach it. I do want to teach it. I'm just fucking tired. And that's why I need to learn how to self-care, self-love. I'm working on it. This is really deep-seated stuff. This is my foundation that I'm learning to overcome. I'm getting better at it. A summary of all of them to say that they all did the same thing to you. Like, everybody in this list did the same thing to me. If that's how you're summarizing it, like all these people did the same exact thing, that means that there's a theme there. So what's the theme? If I have 5 people on my list, and the 5 people did the same exact thing to me, the common denominator is me. Because how did 5 different people do the same exact thing to me? What does that mean for me? What does that mean that I'm allowing? What's my new boundary so that this doesn't keep happening? So I can really forgive them and release them, because now I realize that this is what I needed to go through in order for me to let this go, right? It's not about pointing these people out and being like, these people are all to blame. It's their fault. They did these things to me and da 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 da. We're going through to realize, yes, these people did these things to me, but why is it still affecting me? Yes, these people did things to me, but why has that been a theme of mine? Why did I allow that? Yes, these people did these things to me, but what can I do to shift and change from this space and change the perspective of what they did to me so it doesn't happen again? What do I need to do to make my life better? So yeah, if you want to summarize it, you can. But break it down to understand what the theme has been. What do you need to change? Why do you allow those type of things? And maybe you need to forgive you. Maybe you're the one who keeps doing the things, or you keep going into it and you know that you shouldn't. Or you keep trusting them. So then maybe your new thing you're going to write is like, I release all these people. I forgive all of them. Because I realize they were meant to teach me where I was lacking in loving myself, where I didn't value myself, where I had no boundaries. And so I can't even be mad that they were there to push me to that point, to cause me hurt, so that I can be here right now to realize that they caused me hurt, so I can learn that I was not loving myself properly. And now I can release all of them. Here's another example. I wrote this down about being hurt because this person I put broke my heart, right? But when I broke my heart, I was like, well, who told you to give them your heart in the first place? Your heart is for you. You need it. You need your heart to literally live and function in your body. So how can someone break that? Why would you give something away that's so important? You can give someone love. You can give people access to your heart, but how could someone break your whole entire heart? That's the overgiving. So I release them, is what I say. I release them, and I release you and I forgive you, because my heart is for me. And that's me learning my worth and to really love my heart. Especially when I look at my who I am, and I wrote in my who I am that I love me, right? I'm a healer of the heart. Why would I give my gift away? So cavalier. I can let people in. And what are my parameters now on my new way of what love is for me? What are my new requirements for love? All comes back to self-love. Just something to think about. So I released that person. Shamanic. Cut the trauma bond. Okay. All this is release. Release them. Okay, any questions? There are two people. One is a family member and the other one is family friend. I both tried to, and my family member saw it happen and they still try to do the same thing. That's crazy. I saw it happen when I was a kid and they also try to do it to me. That's intense. So that might be where you have to cut the cords with those people, because the fact that they were even allowed to be around you and other people in the family, everybody knowing what they are or what they do, and people just act like it's no big deal, it's a deeper level of hurt and distrust. And so this person, as far as the behavior and the act, it's almost like it made you feel like, yeah, you can't really trust people, right? Or that you have to be more protective of yourself because your family was so cavalier with you, right? They were just okay with whatever happens to you or whatever you go through, I guess, whatever, so it might be a thing where for you in that lesson, to release those people was like, basically like, I'm stronger than you. And I have family that I have now, or family that I am building, that won't allow things like that to happen. And so it may be more for you to take your power back from that situation and to let those people have what they need to have. Meaning that if there's someone who's out here causing that kind of hurt to people and taking advantage of people, you being the one to say this is not okay and cutting that cord will release that karmic energy for whatever is supposed to happen to them to happen to them. See, you brought it up and they keep shutting it down because they don't want to deal with the truth. They want to live in lies. So then don't mess with those people no more. It's however you want to handle it. What's your new boundary? If these people in my life constantly put me in harm's way or make light of something that was really traumatic for me, like it was no big deal, why do I want to keep being kind or giving them space when this is what I went through? So in my eyes, I would cut cords with all of those people. They can still be whatever, and you can be cordial with them if you have to go over there, because of your aunts or whoever else you're around. If you have to be around them, you can be cordial, but cut the cords with them because you don't want to live in that trauma anymore with unsafe people and people that will put you in harm's way. And you also want to release the trauma because that trauma still plays a role in how you connect with people now. Why you can't trust. Or you might be more scared. Right? That's a good one. Okay. So work on that. If you have more time that you need to work on it, you guys do this on your own too. I just wanted to give you guys at least the understanding of what you have attached to you so you can release it. So you're going to want to burn that paper or rip it up or put it in water, however you want to dissolve it, but you're going to want to dissolve that energy too of that release from those people. And maybe even create a blank statement for yourself that just says that, like I release all these people for what, I don't know if I put for what was done, and I take my power back. I'm not worried about them or where they're at. Can't remember handwriting. I'm not being worried about where they are. I just be like releasing them. I release them and it's done and it's done. Hello, Bianca. We're just working on some healing in this class. You can join in for this last part that we're doing. Otherwise, I'll put this video up on YouTube. The fact that it makes you upset every single time you think about it tells you that it's not resolved. You want justice. You want someone to be accountable. You want someone to pay for what it was and what happened, for them to say that was messed up and we should never let it happen. But that means that you're putting so much energy on you healing from this on people that don't have the capacity or do not care about you or what happened to you. Because if they cared about you and what happened to you, they would have protected you back then. They don't care. And the fact that you try to bring it up now and they still act like, oh, that's not really what happened, blah, 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 in denial. And that's how trauma, generational curses are. Because no one wants to feel it. No one wants to face it. Everyone wants to just cover over and act like it didn't happen. Until someone brave is born, a beautiful divine soul comes in who's willing to feel the trauma and go through it. So what happened to you and you feeling it, that anger and that hurt right now, means that you're brave enough to stand into it and say it's done. It's done right here. It's never going to happen for any other generation after me. My kids, whoever else, this is never going to happen, right? That's what this is about. So as shitty as it is, you had to be the one to step into it because this has been happening in your line for generations. And I can see it goes back like 6 generations. So this has been going on for a long time. That's why everybody's like, oh, it's nothing, because it happened to them. They can't acknowledge it because they're not willing to face it. It's scary to them. It's big. So you're upset, as you should be, because you're the one who's ready to face it and be like, it's done here. So what you're going to do is say this cycle, this situation, this cycle of abuse, I call it out. I call it out. I shine light on it. I acknowledge it. This is what happened, right? Speak your truth. And I cut the cord of this generational trauma, this generational curse. It will never occur ever again. And it's because I'm strong enough to call it and put words on what it is. So I take my power back and my strength that I will never be taken advantage of in this way. And I won't have any connection with people that would be so cavalier with me, right? So we go back to your definition of love, or even your definition of being safe or protected. Redefine it so you understand what safe and protection is for you now that you know. Because now you have discernment. Now you have your gifts all the way open. Now you're able to look and be like, yeah, now I know what this is about. Now I know what this person's on. Now I can feel they have a weird kind of like, what do they call it? Creepy energy, right? Yeah, that's what you want to do. And then release it. So you can release the anger, because you're the one who's hurting by this. Everybody else in your family that's acting like it didn't happen, they're living their life. They don't have a care in the world. They're not scared. And the person that did it is just whatever. Does it make sense? But you calling it out puts that name in the ring. And when you tell your ancestors, hey, this is what happened with this person, listen, karmic energy come back real quick. So call it out. Take your power back so you can be free of it. You know your truth. Okay? All right. So let's do this last piece so we can finish up close to 8 here, because that's what I was trying to do. Stay on track. Okay? So, okay. Close to 8. So this last piece I want you to do is I want you to close your eyes. I might change this music. Should I change the music, spirit guys? Okay, the message, like, yeah. And we're kind of past that deeper shamanic stuff. Now let's go into something more mystical. I like this one. See what this sounds like. Okay, we're gonna go with it. This might be kind of distracting, but it's okay. So, what I want you to do now, I always had the feeling since I was a kid when men were weird. Yeah, you know. Now you can really trust your energy and your discernment, and you don't have to feel like you're wrong because your family doesn't want to call out bullshit, basically. And you can navigate your world and call things out because you may be the one that's made to bring justice to these people, right? Yes. Okay, so what I want you to do is close your eyes. I want you to see yourself in this beautiful open space with clouds and divine beings, angels, whatever your belief, clouds, lots of light. And you're moving forward, right? You're ascending forward. You're ascending up into the universe. And this is a cleanse, okay? So you're going to have your beautiful spirit guides and the beautiful divine beings and the angels coming through. And they're going to be just cleansing away all this stuff that we just released. They're going to be pulling it out of your head and pulling it off of your arms and pulling it out of your third eye and just pulling everything out because you're saying to yourself, I no longer want to be a part of the energy that's keeping me stuck. I no longer want to be stuck to these ties of the past. I no longer want to be stuck by the definition of what love was for me, which was based off of trauma. I no longer want to sacrifice myself. I no longer want to be living in the space of solitude. I no longer want to think that putting everybody else's needs above mine is the only way, right? I'm ready to move into a new. I'm ready to learn a new way of love. I don't want to sacrifice my abundance to other people. I want to receive what's rightfully mine, what Creator and Divine has bestowed upon me, what my work has earned me, right? I don't want to be in a space of sacrifice. I want to receive what is rightfully mine. And if I choose to give and share my love or share my wealth or whatever it is, it's going to be on my own terms, on my own accord. That's how you want to be able to let spirit heal you. So I want you to see it in your mind's eye that you're floating in this beautiful space and you're ascending upward and you're going into your higher self. You're reaching into more. You're unlocking more of your understanding and your gifts because now you know who you are. Now you know that your theme that you were born into is not your end-all be-all. That's not the only theme of your existence. Your theme gets to be redefined here and now by your decree. That you get to say to yourself that my new theme of my life is living in love and peace. To be of love, to experience love on all folds by my new definition of what love is. I know my value and my worth and I have nothing in my way. And you want to basically declare what your new theme is, a theme that you have in mind, or just even affirming who you are, whatever you feel like you need to do, or affirming what is done if you feel like you still need to say some things about what we just released here and now, right? That you are no longer carrying the weight of these situations and these people. And you're going to see your guides and the beautiful healers just cleansing everything off of you, okay? And as they're clearing and removing and taking the things that are ready to go, you'll look down and see that you have a belt around your waist. And the belt represents the last things or last people that are still attached to you. And it may be that you've cut the cords with them, but they are still latched somehow to you, right? Or they still have access to you in a way that you don't want them to have access to you. So as you're floating in the sky, being cleansed of all the things that you released, letting go of all of these traumas, letting go of all these people that have caused you any hurt or pain, and you're clearing all this stuff out, look down at that belt and see if there's anything or anybody else that's left that's holding you back from reaching your highest good, that's holding you back from receiving your abundance, that's holding you back from getting to where you need to go next. Anything that's weighing on your waist or your belt. And it could even be a younger version of you. Because sometimes as we're moving forward, we forget that our child self has been through all these things and all she needs is someone to acknowledge her. So if it is your younger self, pull her up from that space of her weighing down in the belt and give her that acknowledgement, that love, or him, the acknowledgement or that love that they never had. Feel what they went through, what their experiences were, and you fill them up with the energy of love and acceptance and safety and security and whatever it is that is needed. And what you'll see is your younger self that you pulled up will look at you and you will look at them and you will become one again. Because you are no longer defined by your child self. You are ready to move forward and to be everything that you are. Okay? And if there's anybody else attached to this belt, anything that's weighing on that lower end of your waist or down your legs, look at those attachments and cut the cords. And the cords mean that you may have released them on this paper and said, I forgive them and I let them go. But you may need to literally go through and sever the cord. And the cord literally has to do with a karmic cord. Karmic cord means it's someone that you have a karmic trauma with, meaning that you might have had a past life with this person, or you guys went through something when you were younger or previously that never got resolved. And so it's keeping this karmic cord tethered, which means no matter where you're going, this person just keeps being attached to you because that cord has never been cut. And you have the power as divine beings to cut karmic cords. So you're going to go through and you're going to cut the karmic cord and you're going to say, I release you and I let your cord go with you so you can live your life, and I let my cord come with me, and it is done. And you'll see them fall to where they're really at. Because if they're floating on your belt, that means they're trying to ride your coattails to where you're going in your ascension and your level of success. And they have not earned the right to go there. They're using you to get there. And I need you to be strong enough to say, I cut the karmic cord with you once and for all. In this lifetime and every lifetime. And it is done here and now. And see them fall where they are. They'll find their way. It's not to hurt them. It's to say that you're no longer going to carry the weight for other people. What are we talking about in the beginning? For me, it was that overdoing, overthinking, sacrificing. I am not going to sacrifice for not another person. Neither are you. Okay? Cut it. So release it. Take this moment. Breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. All right. Let it be done. Let it be released. Let it move forward. Okay? So that's the last piece of releasing the stuff that we have spiritually. The last part is physical. So physically, I want you to look at yourself and see if there's anything that's tied in your body. If I ask yourself physically, is there anything attached to me that needs to go? What areas like highlight into you? What areas of your body look like they kind of glow or turn up, right? And it's just for you to acknowledge. She said neck. All right. And so what is it in the neck? When you see neck and it lights up for you, what is it that you feel it's in that neck space? What is that response that's carrying physically? Is it the weight of the world? Is it the fact that you feel like you're carrying everything on your own because you've always had to be on your own? What does that neck vibration feel like? Because like for myself, I get like in my legs, but when I look at my legs, it's like, it's this energy of like, you know, I have to do all this stuff. I have to take this stuff on. It's somehow it's my responsibility. And even as I'm saying and looking at it, it's like, well, no, it's not mine anymore. And you just have to have that conversation with the part of your body that needs to be released. So you see it in your neck. Just keep it appearances. Look at your neck and release it. I don't have to keep up appearances and be what people want me to be. I get to just be me. And you'll start to feel the energy lift out of your neck. Even if it feels you have to go in there physically and pull that energy out, or if you need to do a cleanse. And a cleanse that I would suggest for this release that we're in right now is like an egg cleanse. Taking an egg, rubbing it from the top of your head down to your feet. We usually do it 3 times. In this instance, I want you to rub it from the top of your head down to your feet 1 time. And then on the second pass, I want you to go to the areas that you have trauma in, the areas that highlight to you as the physical. And I want you to hold that egg to that spot. And I want you to see that energy that's in there, that trauma that you've been carrying to keep up appearances goes into that egg. And you say to yourself, I don't have to keep up appearances. I'm not here to impress anybody. Just like, I'm crying. Good. Crying means release. Crying means that you're acknowledging that something is not sitting right with your spirit and you're done with the shit. My heart. Okay, so then tune into that heart space. What is it? What's still in the heart physically that needs to come out? And then do the egg cleanse to put it in there. Or whatever cleanse you feel like you need to do, but the egg is always really good. So I'll have to do mine when I get home as far as the physical part. But I'm just looking at different parts of my body where I'm like, yeah, this feels like the weight that I carry of feeling like I have to do the right thing for everybody. So I'm releasing that, the sense of needing to be, you know, right or on all the time, or, you know, responsible for people. I release that. And I release this sense of feeling like boggled down or weighed down by the world's energy or other people's stuff that's not mine. Like I release that from my face and my crown and my eyes. I let my energy be cleared so my gifts really are restoring. I can even feel it as I'm saying it. Feels good. Now your body might go through an actual release, so I just need you to be aware of that, because I can feel my body being like, okay, you want to release it? Here we go, right? So give your body what it needs. So drink some water. When you drink your water today, I want you to set an intention. So you're just saying like, water, continue to help me release the things physically that I carry that are tied to all the things that I release today, right? Help me release physically what's in me or around me that's not mine. That's it. So I want you to go through and see what you have physically and pull it, cleanse it with the egg, speak to it, acknowledge it, or physically release it from the body. It depends on how your body releases things. That's it. And then everything else is a release. Rip it up, burn it up, destroy it. Questions? Should I cry too? I'm telling you, it's intense. She said hand and neck. She burped. Burping is a release. Going to the bathroom is a release. And seeing a different age of yourself makes a lot of sense. You lost your phone. You keep thinking someone has it. Well, you can't call nobody, right? It's off or it's dead or something. Why would someone that you know have it? Were you at some place where they could have taken it from you? Sometimes some things have to be released if that's the case. But why would someone take it? Because they want to be able to see you again? So I saw a different age of herself and we hugged each other. That's the healing right there. I don't think you're going to get your phone back either. I think you have to kind of cut the loss on that one. I was like, I'm just gonna burn half this. I'm like, I'm just gonna burn all of it. Because why am I holding on to this paper? Like, I know what it is. I love this healing. And I love you guys sharing that you had this release and, you know, you cried and all the beautiful things, because that's part of this, is to be done with it. Yeah, I don't think you're gonna get your phone back. I don't see you getting your phone back. And I don't feel like whoever has it, they're going to try to play it off as their own, I think. So, just be wary. If there's not a friend or anybody that you don't, you know, talk to or something, I wouldn't be worried about it. Just count it as a release if you're able to. Unless you're able to get it back. But I don't see you getting it back. I missed that. What'd you say? When you started the first, I did see myself in white, clearing myself with some kind of smoke, like Indian people do. Yeah. And I saw my ancestors dancing and just being cleansed. Yes. Let it be a cleanse. And I want it to be a thing where, okay, this is gonna irritate me. It's gonna irritate me, this paper. Okay. I want it to be a thing for you guys too, though, to let this energy continue to work for you and cleanse you and heal you and light and lift you, and for it not to be something heavy. Just because we're releasing things that are old and heavy and we did all this work does not mean that it has to be traumatic. It does not mean that we have to suffer because of it. It does not mean that we have to go through all this bullshit, right? Like, let it just be what it is. Right? It's done and it's done. Yeah, meditation was actually super strong yesterday. For those of you that, if you want the meditation, you can still get it. Meditation's 25 that we did yesterday. It was intense though. I give you that. If it's too much smoke, I don't want to be out here doing weird stuff. I'll burn it outside. I'll burn some of it. Okay, any questions, any comments? Yeah, meditation was, yeah. I have a recording of it if anybody needs it. Like I said, it's just to 25. Meditation's every Sunday. So if you ever want to come to meditation, come. If you need help, let me know. If it's a financial thing, just let me know. Let me know that you want to come. I'm never going to deny someone from coming to meditation. I can tell you that. You can ask anybody. I'm never going to tell someone they can't come to get healing. I love it. I hope you tell the people on the other live to join your meditation on Sunday. I need the sounds name. This sound? Oh, the sounds from yesterday's meditation. I'll put them in the group. I realized I only sent it to Jesse Annie. I didn't send it to everybody. But I will put it in the group. I'm never one assignment you told me to do. I did get somebody's number. Okay. But the guy, it was one-sided. It was me asking him questions. My spirit walked away. But love yourself. Facts. This was a great class. My dreams have been about deeper love. I only listened to real 90s love music today. Let's go. Real love music, exactly, when they knew what love was. Not from trauma. not from no old, hold on to me forever, baby, because it's okay for you to beat me. Real love. Real love. Hey. I love it. Yes. Delilah love music. This is beautiful. Yeah, Sunday sounds. That's what I thought. I'll put it in the group, Alejandra. But, okay. You guys have a beautiful rest of your night. If you have any questions, throw them in now. Otherwise, I'm shutting it down because we did our 2 hours. We're a little bit over. I'm going to do a spirituality 101 class. Maybe next week, I think is what it's going to be. So look for that in the classes, and I'm going to put it on the TikTok live. So we'll show you a scheduled live time for that. And we're just going to keep it moving and doing what we're doing. I appreciate you guys. If you guys want to send donations, by all means, I will take them. Otherwise, we'll see you guys for Zumba tomorrow if you guys are local and you want to go to Zumba tomorrow. Otherwise, I will see you guys for... we have a lot of things this weekend. Steps for Sleep event is on Saturday at LaSalle High School in Minneapolis. I'll be there if you want to get products, and we'll do a little drum circle demonstration at the end. And then we're doing warrior walks. If you want to walk in nature, we're going to be at Fort Snelling, which is going to be really beautiful and intense. And meditation, of course, on Sunday in the morning, always, every morning at 10 a.m. if you guys are coming. That's it. Yes, thank you. I will definitely get some rest. Yes, text me about the reading tomorrow. The Zumba, I don't know. It depends on who's in the class if I can put it online or not, because I don't know if people are okay with me recording them in there. So we'll see. But I did put it on Zoom today and nobody came through on the Zoom, but you know, it is what it is basically. But if I can, I will. And I'm going to start doing some Zumba on Zoom anyways, because a lot of people do want to do Zumba. They just can't make it, is the thing. So look out for Jesse Andy, because I'll be out there. Warrior Walks. I'll be texting you this week for more info. Yes, come on the Warrior Walk with us. Sunday at 1 o'clock till 4, 1 to 3, 1 to 4. I think it's 1 to 4. We get into it. We talk about the spiritual side. We do some cleansing. We get some alignment. We do some body work to help bring everything together, activating the mind and the body. And then we go on the journey and take the walk. So it's going to be amazing. But I do have Zumba recorded, Jesse Annie, that I can send you the video if you want to watch me. Don't judge me because it's not 100% perfect, because I did record it just kind of like, okay, like I'm practicing more so. But if you want to do it, I'll send it to you. I love it. I will see you guys later. Can you check my belt, sister? A lot of people been looking and asking questions. I don't see anything attached to you. I don't see nothing attached to you. People are looking and asking questions because they want to have access to you, but you've been doing a good job of keeping everybody where they're at. So keep that energy moving. I know you wouldn't really judge me. I'm just saying, understand that I recorded it from the energy of like, okay, I'm just doing Zoom, I'm just practicing. So there was something about that recording where I was like, yeah, I don't really know that dance as much as I thought I knew it. I can't wait to do more of it though. So it's been good. And then I think tomorrow's going to have people. I know people are going to be in the class tomorrow for sure. So we'll see how that goes. But I'll keep you guys posted. All right, guys. Love you. Yeah, I think it'd be cool to see everybody else dance too. Because the first Zoom I did on Saturday, I think it was Saturday. The girl that was in that class, Terry, she was killing it. And that was fun for me to be like, okay, like, I'm doing a good job teaching because they're picking up the moves and doing what they need to do. And I'm okay. So, exciting. My aunt been asking and looking at me crazy. Yeah, because she's trying to figure out what you got going on and what it is. And it's more like being nosy. Put protection around yourself so you don't got to deal with that. All right. So this recording for this class will be on the Facebook group. So if you guys are in the Facebook group, you'll have access to it on there. I think it stays on there forever. I'm not sure. But I will also post this on YouTube. Okay? So lots of love to you guys. I'll see you guys later. Let me know if you need anything. Thank you for the gifts and the likes and whatever you guys sent if you sent anything. And lots of love. I will see you guys later.